My relationship with League of Legends began around 2010.
The central esports team in 2011 was maybe 2 people. And even then, I wasn't part of esports. I was still part of either community team or web content team. Like, I wasn't even an official shoutcaster, I just happened to shoutcast.
Phreak and I would kind of at 4 in the morning go to the office and talk about a new champion that was being released.
I knew I was a shoutcaster, I knew I followed the game really closely, I was already a very good League of Legends player, and I figured, hey, if there's ever going to be esports events in League of Legends, like, I would have expected to be on the short list. I didn't think I'd be a full-time caster 4 years later, but here I am.
And that kind of got people thinking. These two are a pretty good duo, they fit together. DreamHack's coming up. Do we have them cast at DreamHack?
The best way I can describe the environment of the Season 1 World Championship was, it was, to me at least, one of the best esports events of the time.
I still remember every booth around us was extremely loud, so you're just fighting for sound.
We were renting out part of a space at DreamHack, and that was par for the course for esports at the time. For the most part, you were piggybacking off of other events.
The fans didn't even care. They were there to see their favorite players, to see their favorite teams, and that was kind of the first vision. I was like, wow, that's that hopeful, this is really taking hold. How do we now organize this? How do we structure this?
Even though, by today's standards, it probably does look janky on camera, it was excellent.
World Season 1 I was actually watching from home. So I was in my bedroom in Cranbrook, British Columbia. I just kind of noticed from watching it, super scrappy, bare bones production, but it was really exciting to watch. And the experience that I had watching it as well was actually reminded me a lot of when I would watch the NBA or the NFL. So the production value wasn't anywhere near the same at the time, but I was still getting kind of the same adrenaline and emotions watching it.
I definitely think the things that happened in 2011 wouldn't fly anymore. I mean, the players are like, people are standing right behind them, which again flew in 2010, and that was kind of normal.
It was pretty crazy actually, from watching the World Championship in 2011 to casting the World Championship in 2012, which was a much bigger production. The World Finals was at the Galen Center.
This was Riot renting out their own place. I think we were at LA Live. We had sort of said, okay, here's where we are. It's just the League World Championship. It's not DreamHack featuring League of Legends, it's League of Legends. This was definitely very, very rare. I mean, exceedingly rare at the time for just one esport in just one location.
The lower thirds that would come out, the images, the graphics that we use really started to hero build for these players and show the caliber of work that they put in throughout the year that was so high on a grand stage.
A lot of the grandeur around it and the specialness around it and just the production quality was shocking and new and really amazing.
I just kind of tried to let people know about this really cool thing that I felt like a very small pocket of people had experienced, but could reach a much wider audience.
It's honestly really amazing being a part of esports and getting to go to these places in person and visiting them all.
When we were in France, as I said, it was one of the smaller venues, but holy moly, one of the most electric venues I have ever been a part of, and the decibel level in there was crazy.
It's the actual spectacle and the feeling of the events themselves that is actually special. It's the tens of thousands of screaming fans. It's the augmented reality dragon that flies out for the opening ceremony. It's the concerts beforehand and the fireworks afterwards and the trophy lift. It's the actual esports moments themselves that actually set it apart. That's the part that I'm really excited to be a part of.
It gives you goosebumps every time you walk into a giant arena. I know the Bird's Nest last year for the World Championship was where they hosted the Olympics when they were in China. So that was amazing.
If we can keep doing things like bringing the dragon in, bringing AR to a lot of what's happening.
And also how packed it was and how the fans react to all the moments that I would react to, just like I was watching a football or a basketball game. They know all the rules, they know all the big moments, and it's just experiencing another kind of sport.
It just runs through you the entire time, chills up your spine. And if you're getting chills at home because of that show, that's means we're doing a really great job and we're almost reaching that live experience for you guys at home.
Certainly the scale has surprised me, how much League has blown up, how much players have enjoyed it, how grand the events are. That's all a shock to me.
The changes in champions, what you can play, the versatility now of each player being able to express themselves is so much more.
I've been a gamer for basically ever, as long as I can remember, and I mean, I play what's fun. Like, League of Legends continues to be a very, very fun game, and 9 years down its lifetime, 10 years down its lifetime, I love the game, I love playing it, I love watching it.
It wasn't really a question for me once I figured out that I can relate with people in this game of League of Legends. It brings the competition from me playing basketball, soccer, lacrosse, and baseball as a kid into my life, into video games in a much higher level. And I can relate with everybody on this call. That Baron steal, this turret takedown is where I absolutely remember how much I love my job, because somebody else is remembering that turret takedown. That time they stole the Baron with me, and we're enjoying it together.